Coming to you live from our studio in Kuching, Sarawak, this is TVS Nightline. You're with me, Douglas Elliott, and let's begin with our top story. Minister of Tourism, Arts, Culture, Youth and Sports, Dato' Abdul Karim Hamzah said Sarawak will be the second state after Langkawi to welcome its first batch of tourists beginning this Thursday.
We have to look into this. Kita pun sedang melihat perkara ini dan harapan saya ia akan dapat dimulakan tidak lama lagi. Saya difahamkan YB Nancy, Menteri Pelancongan kita di peringkat pusat pun tengah memikir selepas Langkawi, the next one will be Sarawak. Dan kalau di Sarawak yang memerlukan SDMC ataupun jawatan kuasa darurat membuka laluan dulu baru dapat masuk. Tapi kalau nak masuk pun prasyarat seperti apa yang dilakukan untuk Langkawi, saya percaya mungkin akan diimpos di sini yang mana sebelum sampai ke sini mesti ada perlu swab.
Karim also appealed to airline companies to moderate the pricing of flight tickets as the tourism industry would need incoming tourists to recover its economy. He also stated that the announcement of the Siasito Sarawak 2.0 program has been well received by 5,000 customers, but the program was not implemented due to the closure of several tourism destinations in the state.
Meanwhile, some great news for sports enthusiasts. The state government is reviewing plans to reopen more sports facilities and to allow contact sports in stages, abiding by strict guidelines set by the Sarawak State Disaster Management Committee, SDMC. However, Karim said the guidelines are still being discussed between SDMC and the Sarawak State Health Department, JKNS.
Even if we are to open up any of the facilities termasuk contact sport ataupun acara-acara tersentuh, the necessary SOPs must be there. Among the necessary SOPs yang kita semua tahu, you must have the 2 vaccination, you must have the 2 jab, you must also kalau sebelum nak masuk, you have to scan, you have to wear mask when after or before the event, penjarakan sedapat mungkin. Kalau semua mereka yang dalam acara sukan itu sudah ada dua vaccination, actually you can consider to be quite safe.
When asked about the use of COVID-19 self-test kits before any sporting event, Karim explained that it was up to the sports facility and organisers. Personally, he felt using COVID-19 self-test kits would be a financial burden for sports enthusiasts who wish to play sports on a daily basis.
Sarawak's transition into the endemic phase is still under discussion despite the high number of daily COVID-19 cases. According to Deputy Health Minister Second, Dato' Aaron Ago Tagang, this after taking into consideration the high vaccination rate in the state.
Walaupun kes kita 3,000, 4,000, 5,000, 99% adalah kategori 1 and 2. Cuma hardly 1% 3, 4, 5. Itulah. Jadi sebab kalau begitu, tak ada masalah lah. Kalau orang yang kena COVID ni pun, dia macam more or less like macam dulu kata flu lah. Dia boleh sembuh. Dia bukan tidak mengancam lagi lah.
Additionally, he said that the Health Ministry may only screen individuals with obvious symptoms of COVID-19 as a measure to prevent backlog that has been contributing to the high number of cases in recent days. At the same time, close contact individuals will only need to undergo home quarantine without having to go for a swab test.
Kita cuba untuk kurangkan testing lah untuk yang non-systematic tu. Walaupun dia kontak, tapi kalau tak ada simptom kita tak perlu buat. Apabila kita buat, kita menambahkan jumlah sampel yang makin banyak dan kita tak ada kapasiti. Itulah sekarang ini idea untuk kurangkan sampling ataupun saringan adalah kalau tidak ada bergejala, tak perlulah kita buat just isolation sajalah sendirilah.
For the record, the COVID-19 testing capacity in Sarawak is set at only 6,800 samples in a day.
Hospitals in Sarawak are critically short of medical personnel and officers as the population increase across the state. Due to the lack of adequate medical specialists and facilities, the situation has gotten so bad that in most remote places, severely ill patients have been transferred hundreds of kilometers for the next available bed. Hence, the government remains committed in addressing the issues pertaining to the lack of medical facilities and specialists.
Kesihatan kita di Sarawak ni memang banyak masalah lah. Banyak kekurangan, even in bawah here. Sekarang ni kita lihat memang tempat pun sudah sempit dan masalah apa nama itu dari segi manpower, doctors, nurse memang tak cukup. Jadi itulah satu-satunya daripada tugas saya untuk melihat dan akses keperluan sebenarnya dan how we adapt. Lagi masa sekarang ni musim COVID ini banyak keperluan dari segi manpower, doctors, pakar yang diperlukan dan macam mana kita adapt untuk menyelesaikan masalah seperti itulah.
Aaron claimed that the majority of the SIG federal projects in Sarawak involved the construction of hospitals and health clinics that failed to be completed within the specified time frame. Among the delayed hospital projects in Sarawak include Petrajaya Hospital, Sri Aman Hospital, Lawas Hospital, and Miri Hospital. He said both Sarawak and Sabah needed additional hospitals and health clinics due to the increase in population and overcrowding at many existing facilities, which could no longer accommodate the increasing number of patients. On the shortage of medical officers and specialists, Aaron said the government had appointed medical officers on contract basis to address the problem.
Dan kalau di bawah ini kita melihat kalau dari segi pegawai perubatan, kita mungkin lebih kurang 50% kekurangan lah. Tapi walaupun begitu, kita telah pun melantik pegawai kontrak untuk mengisi tempat yang kosong ni. So dengan pegawai kontrak ini bolehlah lebih kurang kita dapat manage workload yang ada di situ.
Based on the population ratio, he said Sarawak needed a total of 1,800 doctors in various fields in government hospitals, but currently only 532 doctors were assigned to the state.
Political Secretary to the Chief Minister, Abu Saman Jawi, has sadly passed away 5 a.m. on Friday. According to his wife, Abu Saman was admitted to a private hospital on Thursday following a fever. Abu Saman was 64 years old. Abu Saman is survived by his wife Dayang Normaliza Awangtambi and 3 daughters. Dayang described her husband as a loving father, jovial and easy to talk to. The former Jamarang Assemblyman served for 2 terms from 2006 to 2016. Meanwhile, the Assistant Minister of Corporate Affairs and UKAS, Abdullah Saidul, offered his condolences to the family and described Abu Saman as a brother to him. Abu Saman's body was laid to rest at Islamic Cemetery in Kemoyang at around 2 p.m. Meanwhile, in Crime Watch, the Malaysian Immigration Department has detained 6 Indonesian citizens with expired travel documents at a house in Jalan Orang Kaya, Setiaraja, Muka, around 3:05 early this morning. Following the handing over the suspects to the police, Muka District Police Chief DSP Muhammad Rizal alias, the 6 Indonesian nationals, including a woman aged between 25 to 39 years old, were detained with 17 imitation weapons of various kinds.
Hasil soal siasat terhadap suspek, kita mendapati bahawa senjata-senjata tiruan ini digunakan untuk dijual kepada satu pemilik yang mungkin untuk menjalankan perniagaan permainan paintball lah. Tapi disebabkan oleh PKP, mungkin rancangan beliau ataupun suspek tersebut tidak terkendala lah akibat daripada pandemik COVID-19 ini, dan mereka terpaksa menyimpan semua senjata tiruan ini di rumah tersebut. Dan hasil maklumat juga, senjata-senjata tiruan ini diperolehi daripada negara jiran lah, daripada Indonesia sana, dibawa ke sini lah, dan untuk dipasarkan kepada mereka yang hendak menjalankan perniagaan permainan paintball.
Further investigations are ongoing to identify the suppliers and buyers of the imitation weapons. The case is being investigated under Section 36(1) of the Firearms Act 1960 and under Immigration Act 1959/1963. At the same time, Muhammad Rizal also called upon the public to continue providing cooperation and information to the authorities in the effort to curb crime in the state.
Saya mengucapkan sabar dan tahniah kepada pasukan Jabatan Immigration Malaysia dan juga daripada pasukan Unit Keselamatan dan Perkuasaan Negeri UKPN kerana telah berjaya menjalankan operasi ini. Dan saya harap operasi sebegini akan diteruskan lagi pada masa akan datang.
And a man was detained by police officers in Jalan Satok today after he was reported to have caused a ruckus by brandishing a knife at the public. A video circulating on social media showed the man lying face down on the ground with his hands cuffed to his back after the police managed to calm him down. According to Kuching District Police Chief ACP Ashman Baja, the man, believed to be homeless, was later sent to the hospital as the police suspect him to be of unsound mind.
Kita pun tengah cek lagi dia ni gelandangan ke apa, tapi pukul 12.30 tadi tu dia buat kacau ganggu lah di kedai tu. Jadi kita pun terima laporan tu dan tim kita pergi ke sana dan kita tangkap dia. Lepas tu hantar pergi hospital untuk satu rawatan dia pasal dia ada cedera juga. Yang kedua tu cedera ringan lah. Yang kedua tu kita cek dia punya mental dan sebab dia macam kurang siuman lah. So sekarang ada ke hospital lagi lah.
However, Asmon reiterated that the man who was seen causing a ruckus and yelling unpleasant words did not attempt to hurt the public.
Tak ada. Dia cuma buat bising, macam racau-racau situ. Itulah maki-maki orang, itu je lah.
The police reminded the public not to make any speculations as the case is still under investigation.
Kau tak rindu ke dekat mak kau kat kampung?
Lama aku tak kisahlah. Mak aku faham aku sibuk kerja dekat sini.
Anak mak tak macam Nisa. Nisa anak orang lain.
Sejak bekerja di bandar, Borhan telah mengabaikan kebajikan ibunya sendiri. Alisa pula menjadi anak angkat kepada Mak Ton. Adakah Borhan akhirnya akan sedar dan kesal dengan perbuatannya itu? Saksikan Sentuhan Kasih Sabtu ini 9 malam hanya di TVS saluran 122 Astro dan MyTV.
Yang kami faham pakai mask.
Jarak mesti at least 1 meter.
Wash hand frequently. Tak mestilah pakai facial mask.
Penjarakan sosial. First of all, macam kita masuk mall kan, sini-sini kedai mesti scan.
Sentiasalah jaga doktor.
Kita jaga kita.
Kita jaga kita.
Kita jaga kita.
I was being raised by the people and the Blue Crow was being grown by the people dekat jalan.
Jadi bila saya diperkenalkan dengan Borneo Latte, Gula Afong, it's something very new for me. Saya sangat suka.
Daripada segi spektrum rasa, dah macam terlalu kira advance lah sebenarnya.
From Sarawak with love.
Welcome back. Now, Sarawak recorded the most number of actions again today. However, 3,472 cases, or 99.77% of the cases reported, were of Categories 1 and Category 2.
The increase in the number of cases in Sarawak also sees Kuching District recording the highest daily cases at 996 cases. It is followed by Serian with 422, Cebu 272, Bintulu 231, while Samarahan recorded 172 cases. Sarawak Disaster Management Committee or SDMC announced 3 new fatalities involving Kuching, Serike and Mukah. Meanwhile, Sungai Pana in Beluru was identified as a community cluster. SDMC also declared an end to 3 clusters, namely Malikin Cluster, Serian, Jalan Airport Lama Cluster, Bintulu, and Jalan Bubut Sojak Cluster in Bau. Meanwhile, the country today logged 17,577 new COVID-19 cases, the second consecutive day of a decline in the daily figure. Selangor with 2,646 cases was the second highest, followed by Johor with 2,334 cases and Perak with 1,596. With the latest additions, cumulative infections in the nation due to the coronavirus increased to 2,067,327.
Eateries in Southern Zone are once again allowed to open for dining with strict guidelines, including a 10 p.m. cut-off operating period. The ban on dining imposed recently following the surge of COVID-19 cases will be lifted effective September 20th. Despite that, the Southern Zone is still in the second phase of the NRP.
Dine-in will be exclusively for those who have completed both doses of COVID-19 vaccine, be it operators, employees, and customers. As such, business operators are obligated to provide good ventilation in accordance with the standards issued by the Ministry of Local Government and Housing Sarawak. Meanwhile, the business operating hours for the Southern Zone is from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. Individuals or groups of individuals are not allowed to be in a public area after 12 a.m. without reasonable reason. SDMC in a statement also announced that interstate travel now no longer requires RT-PCR or RTK antigen tests effective September 18.
Safe physical distancing and personal hygiene are of the utmost importance to reduce the risk of transmission in the community. In view of this, the Kuching City Council MBKS has appointed 56 social distancing ambassadors to ensure SOPs are being adhered to in areas under the council's jurisdiction.
The ambassadors consist of volunteers from various associations, namely JCI Padawan, JCI Damai, JCI Kuching, and also the Federation of Kuching and Samarahan Division's Chinese Associations. They will roam areas under the council's jurisdiction such as markets, hawker centres and eateries as most sectors are expected to resume soon. Its Mayor Dato' Wee Hong Seng said the ambassadors will be equipped with council vests and PPEs such as face shield and face masks when executing their duties and thus uplifting the council image. During the virtual handing over letter of appointment to the volunteers, Wee hopes that members of the public will cooperate when approached by the SDAs. Wee also expressed his appreciation to the volunteers for their willingness to participate in the program, especially at this critical time.
The Yang di-Pertuan Agong Al-Sultan Abdullah Riyadzuddin Al-Mustafa Bilal Shah and the Raja Permaisuri Agong are now in the United Kingdom on official duty until September 27. Among others, their Majesties will visit the Battersea Power Station in London, which is a joint venture between Malaysian conglomerate Sime Darby Property, SP Setia Berhad Employees Provident Fund, and the Permodalan Nasional Berhad (PNB). According to Wisma Putra, their Majesties have consented to visit the Malaysian High Commission in London on September 24th for a meeting with Malaysians including entrepreneurs, academics, students and community leaders. His Majesty will receive a courtesy call by the Chief of Defence Staff General, Nicholas Carter, and the meeting will touch on the defence cooperation between Malaysia and United Kingdom. According to Wisma Putra, the special visit symbolises the importance of the close bilateral relationship between Malaysia and the United Kingdom manifested at the highest level of the government. Apart from that, the visit signifies their Majesty's concern for the well-being of Malaysians, as well as the investment performance and the country's interest in the United Kingdom, especially during this challenging pandemic period. The Malaysian Armed Forces MAF does not set any racial quota for the recruitment of soldiers. Its Chief of Defence Force, General Tan Sri Afandi Buang, said the notion that only a particular race was favoured to join MAF was a misconception, as the recruitment of personnel was subject to applicants meeting the stipulated conditions.
Afandi said the selection is done in a fair and transparent manner without taking into consideration any differences in race and religion. An analysis of the recruitment exercise for young army personnel between 2017 and 2020 showed that non-Malays constituted 20 to 25% of the intakes every year. Meanwhile, he noted that the recruitment of non-Malays in the Royal Malaysian Navy showed an increase to 18% between 2016 and 2020. Similarly, the 2019 applications of non-Malays for the Royal Malaysian Air Force made up 19.5% of the overall applications, and the figure increased to 24% last year. Afandi said non-Malays currently made up 14.49% of MAF personnel. He reiterated that MAF is committed to continuing with efforts to attract youths of all races and religions to join it through online promotions and announcements on social media. Promotional activities will also be held through exhibitions and career talks at national-type Chinese and Tamil schools, universities under the Defence Ministry, public and private agencies.
An all-in-one platform to access digital services will soon be developed. Malaysian Communications and Multimedia Commission (MCMC) said the application, dubbed the National Mobile Application, had been approved in principle on April 21st, with a proposal to implement the platform very soon. The Super App, which allows users to experience a seamless digital experience, will be a one-stop center to manage the needs of the users through an application that offers ease of use, versatility, dynamic features, and a variety of digital services. In this regard, MCMC invites the public to participate in the survey on the proposed concept of the National Mobile Application to obtain their views on the digital services required through the application platform. The survey aims to obtain views and input on the potential adoption of a national mobile application across public and private sectors, as well as to identify factors that influence the people's choice in using a national mobile application. The survey will be conducted online for a period of 3 weeks from September 15 until October 6.
Seiring dengan perkembangan teknologi komunikasi, kerajaan terus memberi tumpuan dalam memperluaskan capaian internet di 839 lokasi, terutamanya di kawasan penempatan orang asli dan terpencil di Sabah dan Sarawak. Dengan usaha berterusan pihak kerajaan untuk menyediakan infrastruktur kepada rakyat, Pelan Tindakan Jalinan Digital Negara atau Jendela telah dilancarkan pada 2020. Ia dilaksanakan secara berfasa melibatkan penamatan rangkaian 3G pada akhir 2021. Seterusnya, pemantapan rangkaian 4G dan penggunaan 5G bagi mengakses talian mudah alih berkelajuan tinggi di seluruh Malaysia dapat direalisasikan. Teknologi terminal satelit aperture sangat kecil (VSAT) antara infrastruktur penting untuk merapatkan jurang digital di kawasan pedalaman. Dengan adanya capaian internet berkualiti, komuniti di kawasan pedalaman dapat membina kemahiran pembelajaran dalam talian serta membantu meningkatkan ekonomi pengusaha IKS melalui e-dagang.
Welcome to Take Me to Sarawak, the travel show that takes you on a journey for great food, culture, and meeting interesting people in little-known places. Follow me as I rediscover my homeland. Every Sunday, 9:30 p.m. only on TVS Channel 122 Astro and MyTV. Arang kita rawan.
Setiap minggu kita ngangau ke sikuk penyanyi sekali ke penyanyi baru atau ke penyanyi lama.
Kami megak ngangau ke orang Tiklandia dalam Sesebengkah Bidang.
Terus bergulangau kami berdalam program Pangau Kitai.
Nintiang hari Minggu pukul 3 lemai.
Seminak pada TVS Channel 122 ngau MyTV. Kitai berandau.
Seraya berperintah.
Thank you for staying with me. Now, after 16 years of living under Chancellor Angela Merkel, many Germans have never known any other leader except for Angie, with some already missing her and wondering who will be the next in line to be the next Chancellor. And with less than 3 weeks until the national election, Germans look ahead with trepidation to a new leader taking over after September 26.
Merkel, who plans to step down after the election, has loomed large on the European stage since taking office in 2005. Armed with a doctorate in quantum chemistry, Merkel has adopted a pragmatic, problem-solving approach to government, guiding Germany and Europe through the Eurozone crisis, the 2015 migrants crisis, and the COVID-19 pandemic.
Ich kann mich gar nicht mehr daran erinnern, als noch jemand anderes Bundeskanzler war. Deswegen ist für mich so die Angie eigentlich so schon immer da gewesen und deswegen ist es komisch, jetzt jemand neu.
First-time voters have only known Merkel as Chancellor.
Wir sind aus der Generation, wir kennen eigentlich nur noch Merkel. Das heißt, wir wissen nicht, wie es davor war, aber es ist schon so ein bisschen Stabilität und ja, Stabilität ist, denke ich, das, was mir am ersten einfällt bei Merkel.
Ich finde, sie hat es wahrscheinlich nicht so einfach gehabt am Anfang, weil die erste Frau als Bundeskanzlerin war sehr skeptisch. Und ich finde, sie hat meistens sogar noch im Ausland viel mehr Ansehen wie in Deutschland. Also ich habe mal zeitlang die ganze Sache aus Irland betrachtet, wo die Krise 2008, 2009, das war eine ganz große Anerkennung. Und ich finde auch, dass sie jetzt in der Krise immer sehr bedacht und ruhig war. Sie war so jemand, wo man gedacht hat, sie ist so ein bisschen der ruhende Pol, wo man vertrauen kann. Also ich finde, sie hatte gut.
Under Merkel, Germany has transformed into an economic powerhouse, though it remains deeply divided on east-west lines, and the arrival of a wave of migrants in 2015 boosted the far right and fractured the political landscape. Some younger Germans said that despite 4 straight national election victories, Merkel had not done enough to address climate change, improve education, or to move Germany into the digital age. What looked just a few weeks ago like a comfortable win for Merkel and Laschet's conservative bloc is now a tight race with multiple potential coalitions after the election.
And after a year completing one of the first studies into canine detection of COVID-19, the United Arab Emirates now has 38 sniffer dogs working at its airport that can identify infected persons at a remarkable 98.2% success rate.
Dubai police trained the cohorts, which includes German Shepherds, Labradors, Cocker Spaniels, and Border Collies, to recognize the scent of COVID-19 using samples of sweat from people with confirmed infections collected by holding a swab in an armpit for a few minutes. Police trainer Fatima Al-Jasmi, who is on the COVID-19 detection team, guided an excited-looking black and white border collie through the exercises, getting it right every time. The study in Dubai, published in June in Communications Biology, part of the British scientific journal Nature, concluded with a 98.2% detection success rate. The study used sweat samples and PCR tests from 3,290 people to compare the dog's detection abilities. Falasi said the dogs currently carry out around 30 to 40 tests a day at airports.
Wrapping up their half hour, SpaceX launched its first all-civilian rocket ship into the Earth's orbit by sunset on Wednesday. The crew, nicknamed Inspiration 4, was led by e-commerce billionaire Jared Isaacman, reached the orbit almost 10 minutes after being blasted off.
Isaacman was accompanied by 3 crew members who were personally handpicked by himself. They are Sian Proctor, a 51-year-old geoscientist, Haley Arsenax, 29-year-old medical officer, and 42-year-old physician Chris Sombrowski, who all underwent space training in the past 5 to 6 months. Prior to the launch, the quartet was strapped into their pressurized cabin of their gleaming white SpaceX Crew Dragon capsule, dubbed the Resilience, wearing their helmeted black and white flight suits. The rocket's booster landed safely on a landing platform in the Atlantic drone ship after it was detached from the spacecraft's top half. Today will be the flight's last day on space, with no professional astronauts tagging along for the ride, and its splashdown is set in the Atlantic sometime today. This launch also marks the debut flight of SpaceX owner Elon Musk's new orbital tourism business, a leap ahead from its competitors who offer similar experience.
And that's all the time we have for Nightline. You can follow our latest news on our website at www.tvstv.my or follow us on our social media. Once again, I'm Nicholas Elliott. Good night and have a good weekend.